All right, so if you've been keeping track of the news today, and I think it just came out today, Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia is set to challenge the NCAA for a potential seventh season of eligibility. If you recall, he challenged and won in the case earlier in the year for the sixth season, and that's why he's playing now. But obviously, as I just mentioned, Pavia was granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA in December of 2024, allowing him to play a sixth year, arguing that the NCAA's redshirt rule involving JUCO eligibility violates antitrust law. Pavia's attorney said that unless the rules are not found to be subject to antitrust, they will challenge the redshirt rule and ask for an injunction so Pavia can play in 2026 as well. That's a lot of legalese. Jesse, can you help us out? Help us understand this. Explain it to me like I'm five. I'm just kidding. However you want to.
So, for those that don't remember, like you said, Diego Pavia had 2 years in JUCO, then went to New Mexico State, and then now, of course, is at Vanderbilt. The ruling is with the red shirts, and the rule that they're challenging is they're saying that they get 4 years, potentially the 5 years of eligibility with redshirt of eligibility because they're pursuing a 4 year degree, right? That you can leave early. You don't have to get a 4 year degree. We all know that. But that's what the rule is. It's for those that are pursuing a 4 year degree. Their challenge is that because he was at JUCO for the first two, he was not pursuing a 4 year degree. He was pursuing a 2 year degree. And so his eligibility, they're claiming, shouldn't start until 2022.
Makes
Now,
sense to me.
whether you agree with that or not, they are, like you said, they're going at this through an antitrust lens, which is probably the only lens that they could go at this through. And the reason they're doing that is because they're challenging that their rules of eligibility that the NCAA and the member schools and conferences that are within the NCAA or agree to their rulings, they are competing businesses. Sure, we see that with the transfer portal, right? And they have unlawfully conspired to limit how long college athletes can sell their services, their football services, to a school that wishes to place them on their roster. That all sounds great, right? Like we get that. That sounds like, yes, that makes sense. But there is the other side of it. And this is what they're arguing up against is that yes, players are looking to make real money. It's a huge advantage if they win for players like a Diego Pavia or other players that don't necessarily see themselves in the NFL. They're probably not going to get that big NFL payday. And because they can get paid in college and now in the Power Five, because there's revenue sharing, this House ruling is a big factor in this. They are saying you're limiting their ability to sell their skills. And there is real money to make there, right? There's millions of dollars potentially for some of these people. And Pavia came out today and said that he does not intend to actually play next season, but the legal team wants to continue with this case because it would set a precedent for other
Right.
players.
Yeah.
And this would just kind of be his name getting a ruling made. Um, the the thing is that we could have an issue because there are conflicting rulings. They've already had a case brought by a Wisconsin cornerback in a different circuit. I believe they're the Seventh Circuit, and they sided with the NCAA. It was a very similar lawsuit. They sided with the NCAA, and because we're at the circuit level, and Pavia's lawsuit is in the Sixth Circuit, if for some reason the Sixth Circuit decides to agree with Pavia, then those institutions that fall within the Sixth Circuit would fall under that ruling. Those institutions that fall under the Seventh Circuit fall under that ruling. So you would have differing rulings, which is going to cause a problem for recruiting.
Yeah, that's wild.
If there are different rulings until the Supreme Court, if they decide to rule on it, comes at a federal level and gives everybody this protection, then you're going to have students that go to one half of the country or part of the country they're not going to be able to continue to play. You're going to have those that can. So you're going to have even more transfer madness or recruiting madness than we already have. And it's going to create an issue. That's going to create a lawsuit. There's going to be lawsuits on lawsuits on lawsuits. And so the thing that the NCAA is saying, they are saying that the House ruling, the ruling that allows the Power Five conferences to share revenue share the broadcast money, is that they're saying that it reaffirms this 5-year rule. The settlement does contain language within that House ruling that says that governing the number of seasons and the length of time student athletes are eligible to receive benefits, it affirms that rule. It has that language in there. They also say that there has been briefs filed by the American Council on Education, which matches, eligibility to a sport to normal 4-year path of a college degree, and it allows or it prevents college and intercollegiate athletics from becoming this indefinite detour for athletes to actually kind of become pro without becoming pro, and it doesn't complement education. So this rule prevents it from causing this distraction to education, because regardless of revenue sharing, regardless of NIL, at the end of the day, they're still student athletes. And they are trying to avoid this even more professionalism of the sports. And the other thing is they're trying to allow for roster spots, right? Like you're not going to be able to offer freshmen or transfers more spots when you have people that are going to continue to stay. So it does limit you there. The NCAA has already said that if they agree with Pavia's side, if they side with Pavia, the court, they will appeal it because it's already inciting so many lawsuits that are similar for them. So it's a kind of an endless wave of litigation. I'm interested to see, they started their oral arguments today, Tuesday, today. So it's going to continue. I think we're going to see a lot as a result of this. It gets into labor law, it gets into antitrust law. My biggest takeaway is, if you're interested in sports, you're interested in wanting to learn more about what they're arguing, why they're arguing the way they are, and why they can, I would say look up antitrust law. Antitrust law is something that is so prevalent in sports, and not just professional sports, but in college sports, sports of all aspects that we enjoy. And we don't realize it. We don't think about it. I mean, the reason that baseball is the way it is because of antitrust law. Look it up, get just like a base level understanding, and you will become a fiend on learning about this stuff because it's so fascinating.
Yeah, and like you said before we started rolling, is it's something that touches everything. So,
Truly, I mean, like I said, I've had conversations before with people on airplanes talking about Major League Baseball and telling them why why baseball is the way it is, why broadcasting is the way it is, why you never see, once high school football starts, you don't see, college football typically on Thursdays. Now we're in Fridays. We're switching it up a little bit, and you don't see college playing on Sundays when the NFL is in regular season.
right.
So that's because of broadcast and antitrust law. It's all